And your life has changed forever. I do know that. I know that, you meet people now and it's like they know what you've been through and they'll share with you what they've been through. And you're like, wow, mine's nothing compared to that person. It's an incredible journey that never ends. My life is so much better. I have a feeling you're changed forever too, Ronnie.
It does give you a new perspective.
Let me say this too. The fact that you had that red flag go up, that's the other thing. Cancer is so insidious. You know this. And that if it grows, whatever the deal is, even if that was a slow growing one, you just never know, right? And the fact that you felt it and went, something is wrong and I got to get this checked out is amazing.
Another thing that he did that was really interesting, my ENT.
Yes.
He had gone back and looked at all these Kansas videos going back like 8 years. And it's like when you look at yourself every day in the mirror, you don't see change. He had screenshot pictures of me from different videos from YouTube. He scrolled through them really quick. He's like, see your neck, see your neck, see your neck. I have a unconscious motion when I sing a high note. I kind of put my head back. Well, when I put my head back, you could see this lump in my throat.
No
and
way.
It's like, I never noticed it before, but now, once it's been pointed out, it's like once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yes.
And it told me that my ENT did his homework. And now when I see, I'm looking through old pictures and stuff, and now I can't unsee it,
People that are listening to you right now are going to get a lot out of this, especially people that don't take as good care of themselves as they should. In other words, if you feel something wrong, go get checked out.
Listen to your body.
Yep.
We all have aches and pains that come and go, but there was just something instinctively that was telling me this time, don't wait. To anybody out there listening, you really have to trust your instincts.
Yep. You sound great. And let me tell you something. We're going to switch gears. I have to tell you this, Ronnie. The first time I saw you with Kansas was in 23 at the Fox. And so it had been a few years since I had seen you guys. Holy cow. That show was phenomenal.
Wow, thank you.
Every single person on stage. That's the thing about Kansas. You think, okay, there are lots more people in this band than a 4-piece band. So if you make a mistake, it's going to be covered up. It's just the opposite. It's like I looked at every one of you and I thought if these guys weren't on the very tip top of their game, this would be like dominoes falling over, The sound was so pristine, your voice, and you have so many shoes to fill that were such great voices in this band. Your voice is perfect. It's such a perfect Kansas voice. And
thank you.
Oh, honestly, tell me about playing live with these guys.
I can't say enough about my bandmates, Rich Williams, who's been there from the beginning.
I know Rich, yep.
I think Rich is probably one of the most underrated guitar players of all time. We went into the studio to record the Prelude Implicit, and I got to watch Rich in creative mode, and I was so blown away. We're sitting in the lunchroom of the studio, and he's sitting there with an acoustic guitar, and he's playing stuff I've never heard anyone play on guitar before. It was just so imaginative and so melodic, and an amazing thing to experience for me to sit there and go, whoa, this is where the flavor of Kansas comes from. Of course, it's Carey's writing, right? But it really is the flavor of the original 6 that set the height of the bar. Then the boy with the golden resume, Tom Brislin, primary keyboard player, vocalist. When you're Meatloaf's keyboard player, Debbie Harry's keyboard player, when you tour with Yes, you're no slouch.
Right.
And then you've got, I've only known him since he was 5 years old, Eric Holmquist, who has taken over the sticks from Phil. I was in a band with Eric's father. We were playing Yes and Genesis in Kansas. So the fruit don't fall far from the tree, right? Neil, Eric's father, is a phenomenal drummer. Well, it came natural for Eric. And then Eric was just always such a crazy Kansas fan. And then, not to mention, Phil's drum tech for 20 years. Talk about a seamless change of the guard to go from Phil to Eric, who is just slamming the drums. And, of course, you got Zach Brisby on guitar, the writer of the motherlode of the last 2 studio albums. We played with Steve Morse 2 shows in Florida. The Steve Morse that only won Guitar Player of the Year 5 years in a row from Guitar Player magazine.
He's a friend of mine. I love him.
A lot of people don't realize Steve Morse was with Kansas for 2 albums.
I know. I have
Power
pictures.
and In the Spirit of Things.
Yep.
And he played with us, and Zach Risby. Let me tell you, Zach and Steve were on stage exchanging licks. Kaedy, I'm watching them, and I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing. Zach's talent does not end at his shredding guitar talent. I mean, his writing is just over the top. His engineering and producing. He produced the last 2 studio albums. The guy's got more talents than anybody can really conceive. Of course, Joe Denon's own Mr. Fire on stage. I mean, he mesmerizes the audience with his violin playing. What a treat to watch him every night. And then new guy on the block, Dan McGowan on bass guitar. Not only a great bass player, but sings like a bird, has an incredible voice. You know, it doesn't make me too nervous for my job, right? So, you know, the thing that really is above everyone's musicianship is what good guys everyone are.
Very down to earth people.
I mean, do we have our differences? Of course we do. But when we say the Kansas family, I don't think people really absorb the word family with us. All past band members, past crew members, band and crew, we're all family. And it's funny, you know, the things that I've experienced since I've been in the band, having the late Robbie Steinhardt join us on stage and just be hanging out with us. Was I starstruck? Sure, for about the first minute. But then everyone, Carrie, Dave Hope, everyone just makes you feel so at home that you are part of the family. That's what it is behind the scenes in this band. And let me tell you, so many people have the concept of, oh my God, Kansas, it's such serious music. It's, you know, it's classically influenced. These guys must be so serious-minded. Are you kidding? This band is an endless supply of jokes, a perpetual laughing from the time we get together to the time we leave. We're just laughing, having a good time. But we will say, when it comes time to work, no one works like this band.
When does the big tour start where you're rolling with 38 Special and the Outlaws? You're at the Fox on June 21st.
It is April 12th.
Atlanta is a second home for a lot of you guys. I know it isn't for you, but it is for a lot of the bands over the years. Back in the 80s, I've been in radio here for a long time, and so I've just known you guys that long, you know, and how down to earth and how wonderful you are. Is there anything that you want to tell us about the show? I know it's going to be a lot of what we saw in 2023, which is just fine with me when you have the best of Kansas.
Well, you know, it is Atlanta. So I think you're probably going to see Phil Leahart, and I don't know, maybe you might see another original member or two at that show. But nothing happens until it happens. That's pretty cool. And of course, playing with 38 Special and the Outlaws. You know, I'm going to be cracking jokes with Donnie Barnes the whole time.
Oh, yeah. Are you guys going to share anything on stage together? Do you know yet?
You never know.